Hello, my name is Adam. Welcome to the video. If you're new to the channel, I like to look at history from an alternative perspective. Today we'll be taking a look at what used to be known as the Utah Territorial Insane Asylum. If you're familiar with this research, you'll know that these asylums were a very common theme of the late 1800s. There are hundreds of these ornate, massive buildings built across the country said to house the mentally ill. Here are a few more examples, but you don't have to look far to find these. If you just search old insane asylums, you'll see examples from all over the country and even the world at the same time period. This one from Danvers, Massachusetts, and another in Columbus, Ohio. Here is one in Phoenix, and another in Napa, California. Going back to our Provo Insane Asylum, this structure is no exception to the ornate and incredible nature of these buildings. Like many others, the building is lacking in historical documentation. We are given the name of an architect who is said to have been involved in the construction up until the date of his death. It seems strange to pour so much time and resources when there must have been many other pressing concerns. But here's a little blurb from the website. The hospital began as the Territorial Insane Asylum in 1885. At the time, Provo was a day's travel from Salt Lake. This particular site was 8 blocks from the nearest residence and was separated by swampland and the city dump. The message this reveals about the prevailing attitudes regarding mental illness is unmistakable. I'm not sure that they exactly make their point here, given the elegant nature of the structure. It would seem that they had high regard for people with mental illness. But according to the website, again, in its early days, the facility was little more than a human warehouse. Quite a length to go for just a human warehouse. Just looking at the population demographics, in 1847, we had the first 143 settlers arrive in Salt Lake City. At the time of this construction, the population of Provo was between 3,000 and 5,000. It raises questions of the logistics behind building this structure at a time when people were said to be just getting on their feet. We can also see many other buildings in the same city built around the same time. Here is the now Provo Library, which still stands today, and this is the Provo Tabernacle, which was actually burned in a fire several years ago. The case could be made for people of the Salt Lake population assisting with these buildings. However, we are only between 20 and 40,000 population, and that's a day's travel away, not to mention the massive architectural projects that were said to be going on in Salt Lake at the same time. These are just a few examples. There are many more in Salt Lake and Provo. It's fascinating to consider how they would have been able to put up this many beautiful buildings with such a small population. We do have early references to empty buildings in Utah, like this one from an 1852 church discourse by Heber Kimball. He goes on to say, "We will take up the land and become squatters." Eventually, the building was declared a fire hazard and demolished. There were other old buildings on the campus that have since been demolished as well. Let's take a look at our Dominguez Escalante map, which was a Spanish exploration map from 1777. You'll see structures across what is now Utah, and we can match up where Provo would be on the map. As you can see, there's Utah Lake, which is marked as Lago de Timpanogos, and at that same inlet towards the foothills is San Mateo. Might we be looking at a depiction of red brick structures that were pre-existing? I'm not sure what to make of these structures, given what we're told about the conditions of the time, as well as the labor force that was available. As you look at other insane asylums, you can find similar narratives. I don't claim to know all the answers, but I do think it's useful to consider the possibility that there might be more to our past than we've been told. That was the video for today. Thank you for watching. If you liked it, like and follow for more.